From Resnik I took a bus back to Zemun, where I was supposed to meet my Russian friend to try to get into one of the most famous buildings in Belgrade, the Genex Tower, also known as the Western Gate of the city. Genex is a 36-story skyscraper in Belgrade which was designed in 1977 in the brutalist style. It is formed by two towers connected with a two-story bridge and revolving restaurant at the top. The building is designed to resemble a high-rise gate greeting people arriving in the city from the west. One of the towers was occupied by the state-owned Genex Group. The tower got its popular name Genex after this group, while its official title remains Western City Gate. The second tower is residential. The tower formerly occupied by the Genex company is empty, while the residential tower is still inhabited. I was supposed to meet my friend at the entrance to the building, but he didn't respond to my messages all evening. He didn't have a local SIM card, so I assumed he was already in the building. I noticed a pile of construction debris at the entrance to the building and also saw people coming and going from the main entrance. This seemed strange to me because it was almost 10 p.m. However, I successfully entered the building unseen and quickly climbed to one of the abandoned floors, the entrance to which was open.
Believe it or not, guys, but I'm currently in Genex Tower. Somewhere in the middle between the bottom floor and the roof. Well, you can barely see anything, but I wouldn't like to use the flashlight. I don't want to be spotted because the goal is to get to the roof. Here is the massive flag of Republika Srpska, because currently in Belgrade they are hosting the headquarters of Republika Srpska.
While exploring one of the abandoned floors about halfway through the building, I heard approaching footsteps and the whispering of two people. At first the sounds came from the corridor and were barely distinguishable, but after half a minute it became clear that someone had entered my floor. At first I thought it could be my friend, but I was confused by the woman's voice. I suggested that it could be the guard who noticed me on the camera. I quietly left the floor, went to the stairs and climbed several floors higher.
Probably someone has recently been here. Maybe they tried to steal equipment that was preserved for years here. I don't know, I've just seen several cups of beer. It seems that this part of the building was abandoned in 2015, based on the calendar that I've just found on the wall.
I stopped hearing voices and elevator sounds. Around midnight there was complete silence in the building. I couldn't understand why there were so many people in the building if it was abandoned. When I climbed to the very top of the tower, I found myself in an empty restaurant where the lights were on, and half-drunk and not yet opened bottles of alcohol stood on the bar counter.
I don't know why, guys, but there are some bottles with water, so probably some works go on here. So we are just passing by the bar. Look, what's that? What's going on here? That's insane. Somebody celebrated something here, or what?
There was a party at Genex restaurant, I thought. The restaurant had panoramic windows with views of Belgrade. It was possible to stand there for hours and observe the city from an unusual angle in detail. It felt like I was in a liminal space, because we are all used to seeing people in restaurants. I was the only person not only in the restaurant, but perhaps in the entire building, with the exception of the security guard. Walking through the Genex at night was like being in a dream, and I liked it. At sunrise, I climbed out onto the roof to photograph Belgrade in the morning.
So for those who are interested in the view from the Genex Tower in Belgrade, there it is. So it's finally bright on the street, so I can easily walk around the building without the flashlight and show you things. So currently I'm on the 24th floor, Well, each floor has the same design. The difference is only in the equipment which has been preserved in rooms. The building is still supplied by electricity, that's why you can even charge your phone here. Looks like the office of the air company. Look, business jets, low-cost travel, era, so pretty much everything devoted to air travels. Looks like it was the office of Lufthansa, because they have the branded world map here, and here is Serbia, this tiny piece of land. This is what happens if you haven't cleaned the dust in your room for more than 10 years. It's just white, look. Frankly speaking, at the beginning of the exploration, I thought that the situation at this building is way worse, because the highest floors are almost empty, but in the middle there is still a lot of interesting things that can be found. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the childhood for sure. But actually I haven't used them, because in times when I was young, I started using computer, like regular like DVD and CD discs appear. You know what, this place actually provokes the nostalgia. Even though sometimes I visit abandoned places and feel nothing aside from aesthetical pleasure, because I'm not associated with that abandoned places. Here the situation is different, because it was abandoned relatively lately, like in modern history, just 11 years ago. And I was living in that time, and I remember all of these things from my childhood basically.